I was, whoops. Well, I'm here. I guess the universe had other plans. The universe said, get on here. I've been like, like, okay, oh my gosh. So I not only got the hours that I was in here, but I got additional hours as well. My watch hours are functioning. And I was just like, is this happening? Like, because I know what this means. Because it's kind of like I said, if I'm going to make this shift, I mean, towards, um, you know, social media, this represents something. This means something. This means I'm moving in a different direction in my life when it comes to me, how I'm working with people. And I'm letting you know, like, right? I mean, I'm be honest with you, terrified. Like, I'm like, is this like, what uncertainty? I'm like, is this real? Can I truly achieve this? Is it the right direction for me to take? Should I go this route? So, all of these things are like going on in my mind. I've got everything up now. So this is like the kind of like, this time of year, people are like out, doing their thing. So I've had a busy month, but I kind of had to stand on call. And things, like it's like people are like, yeah, I'm gonna need you a month from now because we've got like August, it's like calm. People are out there, they're causing their path, and then they're gonna come back and say, what's going on? So I gotta be ready for them. I know that's gonna be like October, November, especially end of November and January. So I understand, but goodness, that's some pretty lengthy calls. I know I'm doing it again. I'm doing the big no. You know what? To be honest, I really like this color. Hey, buddy, you're not on there. You're not on here. I truly like this color. Yeah, like the way it looks. And this is the color I get at 3 a.m. This would be a perfect time, actually, to this would be an absolutely perfect time to do like videos. Like I could do videos and then like uh post them as something. Hi, Anita Sonker. Welcome, welcome. I I'm kind of in, like I'm thinking of having a traumatic moment. Like all the watch hours are like happening, but I know what it means. It's just like that metaphysical, spiritual symbol. I know it means. I know what it means. You're getting ready to start your social media journey. And I'm like, oh boy. So, but it's just the way that it's happening. It's like it's bothering me. I'm like, why couldn't it be easy? It's not easy. I had to learn everything backwards. So I know how to do, well, that's the thing, that's the key. Coming into this, I'm gonna know how to do everything. Because I learned from the height. It was like I would buy this, whatever it was, you know, and yeah, it wasn't 100s. I'm not that too expensive. And I would study it and learn it through and through. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna use that. And the universe is like, okay, close your books. I close my books. On to the next thing you gotta learn. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not on the journey yet. So finally, I'm getting to the place where I, well, soon well, not soon, but I will apply everything I learned, but in my social media, in my YouTube, in my TikTok. And I've got it where already where people will not have to go back and click on this, click on that. They'll be able to stay exactly where they found me. You find me on TikTok, you better stay right on TikTok and get information. Or get to me. If you stay on YouTube, you better stay right here on YouTube and get buy the book, even to buy the book. So I'm excited about that. I already like since I studied backwards, I even know how to get my book published. I know how to do it. Put it on. I know how to put it on Barnes and Noble, all that. I know how to do it, all that. So that's the journey. But it's like I knew it's like, well, if this when this starts work, if it starts to work, my luck would be snake eyes. It's gonna be where um like I'm kind of pushed to do it. Yeah, I'm kind of pushed to do it. And I'm like, when I do it freely and I try to do it, guess what? That was the time I'm learning. I was learning about everything. It says, please see me for when I get married in the future, spouse. Well, I've got so many things that we're going to talk about today. You know, everybody is so focused on when they are going to elevate. I've got people focusing on their money. I've got people focusing on, well, it's like I'm working with the remnants of 2019 stuff, like post and COVID energetics. Energetics. I'm trying to sound smart. And and so like there's remnants of that. But people are becoming much more strong and confident and able to move on, because that's what I'm talking about. When not I'm not picking at any but at us. I'm saying that when it was challenging for us to move on to where our prosperity is, because it's the way that it happened. And I found the word to use. Like people say, it's not that, it's like, okay, the person who they didn't make it with. Or it's like, it's not because, I mean, I love them. It's not because I hate them. My love turned to hate. Or did my love turn to hate? It's another. I said, you're disappointed. It's like there was something like, yeah, I know the word. And now you know the feeling. You're disappointed. You're disappointed because here you are. Oh, I'll try to get him. I'm gonna get him. I don't want to share the stage, little fly. So I try to get that fly all day. Okay, so all right. So basically, okay. So here's the thing. Got to say this correctly, so it makes sense. Um, People are trying their best to get to this space or this place in their world where they understand what they're going through, and and even the parts where, gosh, I want this person to go through like rain, and I want them to go through trouble. I want them, I want karma. I get it. But what we think is you know um, the most uh, like what they call it. Um, we would say, we're going to impart our judgment, like what we think what karma is for a person. And by the way, that's the wrong definition, but I'm going to entertain the thought. I'm going to speak on this subject as though we're talking about karma, as in what goes around comes around, like bad people, like karma. You do somebody wrong, you get that karma back, even though that's not the definition of karma. And I'll tell you, so that it's extra knowledge. Karma is action, meaning karma is just an action. That's all it is. It doesn't mean like you're gonna get your karma back. It doesn't mean. Karma is an action, something that you do, and that it now karma does create attachments, but karma can create attachments when it's good or bad. So you don't want in the text where karma comes from. Your duty is not to attain good karma or bad karma. Get that? You're not supposed to get karma at all. What do you want karma for? Karma is an attachment and it's short lived. Karma means I'm connected to something and I could be happy for a time. The goal, where the information karma comes from, is that you want to achieve um, uh, no action, no action karma, like no action, no karma, no attachment, no action, no attachment applied to karma. That's the goal. Because that's when you achieve it's abundant. You know, like when they say abundant love, abundant prosperity, abundant health, wealth, etc. When you're speaking in that terms, if someone is knows what that actually means, it means they have no karma attachment to anybody. Have you noticed that? Okay, yes, you have people in relationships, etc. You have people who are affluent. You know, they're wealthy, right? And when the real ones, when they really sit back and they say, you know what, I'm not with anybody right now. I'm just here focusing on me, positivity, positive energy. They stumbled on non-attachment. That means no free action, no action. That's what that means. No karma for the actions that they put out. So anything that they're connected with that brings to them positivity, for example, they're not going to bring in the compromise that comes with your happiness. Okay, okay, there's two. Okay, we're metaphysically, I think for over a few years now, they're tackling the word compromise. Compromise is one is good and one is bad, obviously. Compromise can mean you are a compromised individual. Like our mission is compromised. Whoa, if you're talking about that in a relationship, when they say they understood the mission, then you say, ooh, you're that couple that says, ooh, our mission was compromised. That's bad. That's not good. However, then there's concession, but then there's the kind of compromise as in the way that I was listening to some spiritual teacher speak on compromise. They spun it as why should they um, compromise or give up something that they want, or work with the person who they're with in order to have that person in their life who truly loves them. It's about loving them, loving me for me. And but I don't know. But see, here's the problem. As a psychic, I don't. I rarely see that reciprocated. If a person is speaking like that, they're not usually. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is honesty, right? Okay, they're not reciprocating that back. So if the man, right, is saying, "Why are you trying to hold me back, hold me down, keep me from doing what I want to do? Why don't you want me working with this woman? She just was just business." Well, yeah, I'd known her for 7 years. Yes, she's a little sweet on me. Yes, she gave me money. Hey, she's inviting you to do business with her as well. We could all work together as a team. You know, that's the issue with the compromise. Like, okay, we're not supposed to compromise. Like with you, he might say, I don't want you hanging around that dude, that man. Why he's always coming around? Why are you always talking to your brother? That's weird. What like, why are you traveling? Why do you, oh, why do you have to travel why you got to go to a girls trip? Like, don't you have a lot of work to do? So that right there, that is an issue with that kind of compromise. So the compromise I'm referring to, first of all, in it's a very complex idea because when I'm speaking about when I use the word compromise in a metaphysic, I will say concession, because it's a very fast term and it means something, not quid pro quo, like Okay, so the compromise with this gentleman would want, who's saying, I can do whatever I want, but he doesn't want quid pro quo. Well, he wants quid pro quo with, depending on the relationship, the nature of the relationship, meaning something for something. And he may want an advantage in his bartering with you, emotional bartering. He may want an advantage that you do not have, that he's requiring you not to have. And that does make one compromise. That compromises one's uh, ability to be worry and stress free, because you're constantly going to be thinking. And then you don't know the nature of this dude, because he could be very destructive, self-destructive and destructive to others when he's not getting what he wants. So then you got to factor in that. The other part is metaphysically, finally I can get to mine, is that um, both the persons, now sophisticated, both persons are, first of all, loyal and working with one another. That's the compromise. Meaning the relationships all around are disposable, are disposable and compromised, because those are vulnerable connections. Only reason why they are even maybe connected with the couple, this couple, in their agreement, a compromise agreement, they are working together to show loyalty to each other. And that's the concession. That's the concession part. I can fulfill this level of loyalty with you. You can fulfill your level of loyalty with me. Let's work together. So that's what I mean when I say compromise. So I will ask tough questions if a person is just not, if it's not clicking, and I'll stay on for hours, 2 hours. I don't mind. I'll still stick. I mean, I will guide you and give you new information and pick up details to show, like, by the time I'm done, you'll be like, oh yeah, I definitely am getting their things out of this house. By the time I'm done, because it's really about, you're the person who gets in. Get out of here. You're not the star. He's been around for a day and he's bugging me. Boy, he's bugging me. He's a big one too. I'm gonna hate like cleaning him up when I do get him. I'm gonna get him. So, so basically, is that uh, when there's concession, when there's compromise, yes, it can happen in many forms, because this is a multi-dimensional realm, and people absolutely get lost in in themselves. They get lost in themselves. And so get back to that disappointment part. So we covered, okay, exactly what do you mean? We compromise. That's a bit, you know, there's a slide, it's on a sliding scale. I would say the disappointment is when you have established everything, like you have a solid business contract with this person, and they settle for less. When they walk away, if it's just bad, if it's just abusive and we just walk away, that's one thing. But I mean, like, solidly good. It's a good house. It's a few $100,000 home. It's amazing. Energetic. There's always money. There's enough money, food, responsibilities to go around. Never love making never was ever the issue. And then that what they turn around, male or female, it is either one, and take the less. That is not, how you describe that? That's not love or hate. You're like, I love this person. I should hate this person. I should be angry at this person. But I care about this person. I only want the best for this person. Will they come back? Then when we finally get rid of all the emotions of, do they still love, do they respect you, do they think do they think you were foolish or naive, do they consider you just a pawn? Do they consider you just like money, like for cash, or just using you for a place to stay? What's the other one? Will they regret all of that? Okay, all of that. They know realize come to realize later just how much I've done for them, all of that. But when we get down to the bottom and all that is said and done, what we're left with is how disappointed we are. So out of all the emotions, that's the emotion here that people are trying to understand. Like, how could this person disappoint me like this? I've provided. I'm this person, what they're claiming they're going to go chasing after of. They're going to go start a business. They're going. I gave this to them. They need a desk. They need an office. They have an office space in our house. They, like, I'm so disappointed. Like, they could have started their business and have no investments of their own. Just the investment of the relationship is enough. We're working together. That's our agreement. That's our compromise to each other. Concessions. That's our concessions to each other. And then they or one of the persons go out there and disappoint us. And we check on them we're going to check on them from time to time, and they're nowhere near we are. Because you know what? I believe 100% without a doubt so I believe 100% without a doubt sometimes we're holding people up sometimes. I know it's out of good intentions, like we love them, but sometimes we're holding people up. And when I say people, I'm including ourselves in with people. Sometimes we're holding people up. We are people. And when I say that is that I find that what's the toughest feelings to deal with is when everything happens, you realize that this person is gone, they've disappointed you, and then your life starts to turn and revolve again. Because while with them, our lives become stagnated and slowed, and we don't go for the big trophy. We go for the little trophies. We go for the little wins because we don't want to leave them behind. We don't want to cause them to feel inadequate. It says, Lord, I subscribe and like, say something. Hey, Mickey Haji. Hello, Mickey Haji. Mickey Haji. Hey, please don't. Hey, Mickey Haji. Hey, it is 4:17 a.m. So I'm like just getting the day started. So, so please let me have that. Okay. I'm relaxed. Okay, I've got my water. So hey, at least I made it on here. At least I turned the. I know this is a crazy hour. Like, what do you? I'm getting ready for work. Like, what are you doing on? It's Monday, and you're up here, and you're chipper, still live on YouTube, 4:18 in the morning, 5:18, 7:18, 3:18. Some of you, oh, I haven't learned my lesson yet. I'll learn it. Don't worry. I'll learn my lesson in a little bit. So, you see, my day starts at 3 a.m. That's why. And the way that so right now, America isn't hired me yet. I mean, Americans can contact me, but I'm working out of the headquarters that I'm associated with is in the UK. So the hour right now is like 9 o'clock or something, 9 or 10 o'clock, right, midday, and it'll be noon their time. That means by the time that I am off, it's like after it's like a little afternoon, basically lunchtime lunchtime. I can go exercise. Oh, I love the time of the weather in North Dakota. Oh, I went out. Okay, I went out. 'Cause I was taking out the trash, and I was like, oh, it hit me. I was like, oh, I say I'm a snake, by the way. I'm a snake, and that humidity. Oh my gosh. I mean, I love to go way out and because I'm at it's a little bit wild out here. It's not the woods. It's not the backwoods. It's like, like lakes and things like that, deer and such. We have a reservoir and all that. So I go out there and I like get lost in this type of weather. And it's night at night. Oh my gosh. And I love it when the moon is out. Beautiful. And it hits the lake, it's all lit up. And it's just so gorgeous to me. So this is my favorite time. My favorite time, well, of course, August 15th is when things really spiritual start to happen for me. Oh, by the way, about this whole your life begins to spin again. The toughest part is when your life starts to spin again and you're thinking, okay, we could have done this together. I could have done this with you. I wanted to do this so much with you. But while we were with them, we weren't taking care of this. We were learning. See, universe is smart. Universe use those experiences and those moments to teach us. Like I'm listening to people, but when they get mad, I mean really fired up, they start talking like, I've got this, I've done that, I've raised my kids. My kids are in law school, man, doing this. I did this me single-handedly. I put my bathroom together. I did that, and they didn't do nothing. I'm like, keep going, let it out, because you're not a weak person. You're not sorry. You're not sorry. You're disappointed. You're disappointed. You're not hateful. You're not a bad person because you're mad, or even you think you hate. Or no, you're not vengeful. You're disappointed. You're dealing with disappointment. That's what you're dealing with. And they're like, I did it. I did it. Like, that's okay. Let it go. Let it go. Yes. And then that's when you start to say, you know what? I spent way too much time on that person because you kind of you do all the things, but you also create a time and space because time is relevant. Time is like geometry. We as humans, we can think of ourselves on a linear time. Yeah, we can, and then we break it up. Like we could put like 5 years, we could sign 3 years on it. Yeah, we put little blocks on people, like 8 years, boom, 8 years. While I'm doing everything else, I'm also this time, I'm incorporating you in all of the things I'm getting done. This leaves. It's like we were disciplining ourselves, like we're in an 8-year boot camp that was preparing us, and then disappointment hits, and then your life starts to spin. And you're realizing like, oh, now I'm wealthy. Now I've got my contracts. Now I can travel and go on holiday. Wow, now this lady, like now she acts so much like a wife. That's all I wanted the other one to do. Like, where did I go? That kind of thing. Or the guy that's like, the lady is like, this guy does everything. The door, like calls and asks how I'm doing. I don't have to wait for him. He brings me lunch, psychic. He brings me lunch, and he's invited me. He wants to for us to go on a trip. He wants me to meet his parents, things like that. Oh, my daughter just loves him. Just loves him. Things like that. So, and you're like, but what about this other person? I've even had people say, okay, like their life had gone up so exponentially. I almost made it. Lee. I almost had that word. Exponentially. And to the point where is the other person gonna be okay? My life is really good. Like they're almost ashamed. Oh, I love talking to people when they're ashamed of when the person is like gets off of starts acting as a weight, spiritual weight, and goes, whew, and they're like, oh my gosh, are they gonna be okay? Because I'm like, you're gonna have so much going on in your world. It would be a blessing if you took the time for them, if you prayed for them or send them good energy from time to time. That's my answer. That's exactly how how I would answer that question. Hmm. Mm, yum. Mm. So, mm. So, okay. This was bringing us into, okay. So in the title, okay, I don't know if you all know this, but I talk about my journey reading for spirit. So let's say, yes, I'm reading for spirit. I'm reading for guides. I'm even welcoming other your guides today. But I also am a medium. I'm not saying that to pitch it. This is not a pitch. But I wanted to talk about, because first of all, let me explain why it's not a pitch. To avoid doing mediumship readings like the plague. But when people call, like, okay, after doing readings, people will call and they'll ask me while I'm on psychic autopilot. And I'll say something like, I never can catch myself in time. I always say something to the effects of, well, yeah, spirits and loved ones do come through. Because, because whenever I'm reading, I'm only speaking truth. I never speak about something I cannot see. Like if you ask, and you'll say, so this person's not coming back. I don't say, no, this person's not coming back. That's not an answer. That's not an answer I'm qualified to give. I will say, like if I had the reading and it's very abundantly clear this person's nowhere around in their world, and they say, so basically this person, you're telling me this person's not coming back. What I'm saying is that because I would have already started preparing them, right? Preparing them for their steps up to ascend. So I start to say, no, what I'm saying is that you have so much ahead of you in life that the journeys you're going to undergo are going to bring a level of abundance and prosperity. This other person will probably have little to nothing to do with it at all. And you should be prepared for this, and you should know this fact. You should know this information. So I say it like that. That's how I read. So I'm always reading truth, and the truth is the positive, like the uplifted, because I'm not here to leave it. Okay, so my readings don't go like this. My readings would never go like this. This person's not coming back. Why is this person not coming back? This person doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. This person doesn't want you. This person wants what they want and wants to have, I don't. And then okay, well, that's all I needed to know. That's not a psychic reading. If you got a reading like that, that's a disservice. That's a bad reading. It's not the fact that it's true. The fact that that the person is leaving hopeless. My job is to be a light. And in that light is not to tell you untruths, it's or to play on your emotions or your vulnerability at the time. Oh, sweetheart, I know you're hurting. No. My my job when you hire me is that I'm going to let you know that there is when I say hope, I mean not wishful thinking. Not I hope he comes back. Yeah, I wish he'd come back. No, hope means expectation. So that you're going to expect greater, expect higher. That's what I work with. So whenever I'm reading for people, and like I say, I'm doing mediumship reading, like a medium, and I say, yeah, loved one comes through, and I'm saying to them, okay, first of all, let me first of all show you what I can do. This person who I last read said, I know you may not be able to read this person because really nobody can. Nobody's been able to connect with this person. And then I connect with them. Boom, 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 boom. Like conversations over. The next one, I know you won't be able to connect with this one. Boom, boom, boom. Like wow. Like details, like what happened, how they crossed, all of that. And not a pitch. I'm just saying. So, like, how do I do it? The way that I believe it works, the way that I believe it works when it comes to tarot cards, I put tarot cards up there, astrology, all that's in there as well. All the clairs, psychic, all that, medium. How I do it is that I believe that when you're connected with a person, their energy, and when I say their energy, Some people will replace spirit with energy. Their spirits, family members, even ancestors come through. And then you have your own energy, right, that you're reading. But then you have the energy of the reading, the spirits of the reading. And a lot of times, these are just family members telling us, like, this, and this, and this. It's just that that's not the question of the day. It's like, all I want to know about this person. I want to know, will I get this contract signed? Will we complete our project on time? You know, I would say the spirits are traveling and sharing information. I would say that. It's just that we have not addressed them. I would say that. So when people ask to speak to them directly, it's like just saying, oh, hi. They would like to talk to you. That's the way it works, I think. I think. Because when people request it, and only do it when it's requested, except for very rare moments that somebody's, like uncle will say, tell them it's me. It's very rare that that a spirit want me to pass on anything without the person actually requesting or asking, that I've noticed. So I've learned to sort of like monitor, like, when does the medium side or gift like click on, turn on. I think it's just always on. But because I used to think of it as like two different readings. Like if you call, like, a person calls in for a reading or psychic reading or tarot reading, that's one thing. But when they call in for a mediumship reading, like, hey, I'm trying to connect with somebody from the other side, or do I have anybody around me? Even I consider, if you say, do I have any guides around me or anybody around me with any messages? I even consider that a completely different reading. Then reading someone's loved one on the other side, I believe that is a. I used to think I would mentally I would say that's a completely different style of reading, completely different reading. It's almost like I'm here because I'm trying to cut with someone on the other side. I'm like, oh, like put down. No, now I'm like, it's one gift. It's one thing. It's just a different way of answering, looking at the details, and just explaining to people, telling people what's there. That's all that there is. Coffee, yes. Oh my gosh, I love coffee. I did enjoy my coffee. Gosh, I caught that, Anita. I enjoyed my coffee a while back. Like my coffee, yeah, my tea. Yeah, I did that. Now I need to, yeah, I said that I would start or begin to take seriously my water. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, I'm taking serious my water. Oh my gosh, so refreshing. Um, Healing. This is about healing. I think this is about healing and connections to spirit. This is about the ability to manifest what people want, and some of it is also to celebrate. Like, I'm here with you all, right? And I'm now able to be on here, and the time that I'm on, wow, like the entire time that I'm on is calculated. Right? I'm gonna be honest with you. Right here on my brain is like, what about all the times that you were on, all those times, and you had the bells and whistles? I'm like, I keep telling myself, yeah, but we were learning too. We were learning how all the systems that we have work. So back off. Like somebody, like, see, you spent all that time, and none of those they were saying all those minutes, and I was, yep, and that blue line didn't move, and your blue line is this down moving, and you didn't get all those hours in or back. All that time. And I'm like, mm-hmm. I know what you're trying to do, but guess what? I was learning as well. I learned so much in that time how it all works. And the blue line happened because I triggered something to make it happen. So it's like it's sometimes it tries. I'm like, I'm not a psychic pushover. No, mm-mm. Can't no. It a person, like psychically, I know how to get around. I know how to get around the atmosphere, the what they call it, the I know how to get around the astral plane, so to speak. Yeah. So, it is 4:35. My goodness, up early, and I know I'm just growing my channel. I'm gonna grow it, stay on for a while, and I needed to come in and take charge of my room. Oh, absolutely. So, can't wait to get ahead of things. And what I intend to do is I'm establishing my hours first, and then I'm going to, of course, begin. I'm going to emulate my my channels, my YouTube channels. I'll say YouTube channel. My YouTube channel as like, and also my TikTok as the psychic lines. I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna be managing it, so to speak. I'll be in charge of it and all of that. Um, you know, but um, but it also will put me in a space where I'm literally on. Well, I'm watching you on my TV and on my phone, but I will be able to advertise, publicize my gift myself. I better do that, and it'll be mine. It'll be mine, and I already have the ways in which people can. I can provide readings traditionally. I can do the whole, toll free 800. Yeah, I could do all that. I already know how to do that. Did that already. So that's why I know how. But I got a better solution. My software allows people from there, because everybody in my head has smartphone at least, or computer, will be able to get in touch with me, and there's no exchange of personal information. I love that idea. And um, as you could see, no PayPal, no Zelle. Yeah, I'm not knocking that. I'm not saying that I haven't utilized that before. I know how all that works, know how to create the button and everything. But I'm serious about making it purely YouTube. I'm serious about keeping it like keep it TikTok, keep it TikTok. Like, um, because you know where the win is. The win is you can you I can ma- I can state the rate that the rate is for me on the phones, or make deals, discounts, all of that, and bring more to my viewers who are not even wanting reading. They just want to come in and interact, and that's fine. They want to ask questions. Maybe they want to challenge. Maybe they want to, talk about, spiritual, biblical things. That's okay if they want to do that. Like, hey, I don't believe in metaphysics. Like, what makes metaphysics true and all that. They want to. Hey, do you believe in ghosts? You want to go ghost hunting? All of that, right? But then there are people that want readings, and so I was trying to figure out a way, okay, like what's the best way to become where people feel, because people have to feel like they are protected, and then where it's not sketchy. How you go to people's kind of side hustle, and like you reach out to them, you don't hear from them for like that communication is just terrible, because they don't have customer service or anything. So I wanted to, like, eliminate like issues. So what I've done is, so what I found is that people come through, whether if it's through YouTube or TikTok actually, and arranging time just to speak, and there's no correspondence, exchange. It's just, except for now they say, well, how do we get a hold of the boss, so to speak? Well, through my uh, directly YouTube. Of course, I do have my email as well. I need to update that email, by the way. Update the email. Well, this email still will get you to an email that I can see. So a person says, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of you, that I can see it. Oh, there you are. You know. However, um, the direct way would be just like when I'm here live on my YouTube messaging, or just in the chat box. You say, hey, trying to get a hold of you. Or, I could utilize it that way. So, and I know on TikTok they still have direct message. They used to have direct message. But they used to have direct message on YouTube. They used to. They sure did. I don't know if they still have that today. I don't know. But yeah, there's still ways to get a hold of me. But I can always incorporate a number if I need to. But I just got my new cell phone number, so I don't really want to give it out, to be honest. So I found I wanted to use my app that allows people, because when people hit a link, it's like they're speaking on a phone basically, but instead of like bringing them onto a show, they are they are private. If they're wanting that, they're privately working with me, and also we can make it into a show just for them, but it's virtual, or as I would say, a video conference style reading where I see you, you see me, you see my cards, you see my work, all that. Hi, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I'm the you're well, nice to meet you too. Oh wow, you have a love. You have a love. That's your spouse. Oh great, you're gonna join in the reading. Fantastic. Fine. It's great to meet you both. I've been reading for her for a while. You've known her. We've been reading together for, yeah, she talks about it all the time. Wonderful. So just use same conversations that I have phone. Like I'm hearing the person say, yeah, I know. And the spouses are like, I can't wait to tell, or the gentleman's like, I can't wait to tell my spouse, my wife or husband, everything you said. Because they're like, that's exactly what they were saying. So I'm like factored in psychically. It's like amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, I do have ways in which to deliver. It's a long time from now, because there's going to be so much activity going on. It's a long time from now. I'm talking about, when I say long time from now, I have a lot of watch hours to accumulate. I do. I will be honest with you. A lot of hours to accumulate. But I'm working on it. I'm getting there. And just, like letting people know, like where I'm going. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Whew. Okay. Whew. I'm getting better at these psychological readings because sometimes, look, everybody's life. Oh, hello, Valerie Ortiz. Everybody's life is not a fairy tale. Not, I mean, when I say fairy tale, like the Disney book, everybody's life is not a Disney book fairy tale. So sometimes these are like psychological, type readings. Like you need like one of those sultry, lustrous. That's you. If you're psychic, those books, not the Disney books. It's okay. You read the novels, like Daniel Steele type stuff. Like, yeah, because if you try to do a nice, pretty reading, you're gonna be asked something so psychological. You're gonna say, like, what am I hearing? So I'm getting, I'm always been great at them. It's just that sometimes I'm like, I think it's because I have an advantage, being male. I'm like, come on, like toughen up. So I mean, that sometimes that's just like it's a little fire, and I'm also a fire sign, so I cannot. Yeah, it hurts too bad to be like, you know. So I have to, mine is so the way so the way my power is, let's go in there. Like, okay, I'm a fire sign. Let's go to Hades. Let's go to the hottest part of Hades and let's talk about it. And here, I only want to be the only one on the stage, little fly. So, um, gosh. So, so I'm like, let's go to the darkest part of Hades, right? And then let's find our way up. Let's get out of here. Let's ascend. Let's get out of here and go to heaven. Go to the Elysium fields of pleasure. So that's how I read. Yeah, I read to empower people. The warrior's path is a little. It could be a little direct. Sometimes I do practice the warrior's path reading, psychic readings, only when I need to, like, it's like being someone's devil advocate, but on their side. Like when they say, "Let me play devil's advocate," but not for the other team. I mean for you. Like, I don't know why I hung up on him. It was stupid move of me. Like, my devil's advocate would be like, instead of, well, on his side, you know, you know, if you would have given him more time, and you just more like suggested that you two talk, instead of doing that one, I'll say, like, you're right, I'll say, maybe you needed to do this to understand just how important this next conversation is going to be when you're in the space to where you're fully capable of having a complete conversation. So I speak like that. You're right. Yeah. Uh-huh. So it's us going up, not the other person going up. It's us going. We're going up. You're the one who called. Yeah. So that's the way I read. That's the way I read. So yeah. Oh my gosh. So I'm just, you know, doing my readings and making sure it all comes, it all happens the way that it's meant to. This happened exactly the way that my YouTube and TikTok is happening. It's happening exactly the way that I knew it would. I knew it was going to happen in the form of where because in my head, I can't help my human side says, imagine if your TikTok was acting like this when you were at the height of everything and you had everything at your fingertips. Yeah, I know, but I I had everything at my fingertips, all the tools and the bells and whistles, and I still do, but not right now because I don't need it. I need to focus on just getting on here, and now it's paying off. They're actually calculating my hours, and I'm not monetized, but I can't wait to monetize the where the ads. I can't wait to get to the ads part. And they have some videos actually monetized. Like they've been monetizing. So it's like every time I post a video or I do a live stream, my goal is to make it monetized. I'm not monetized at all. But because I've seen like the ads playing on the video, I'm like, let's make more of those kind of videos. And I'm telling you, when I say I got a long way to go, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You'll get there eventually. Uh, isn't that what grandma gonna say? You'll get there eventually. My auntie, you'll get there eventually. Just keep at it. I want to be a psychic hotline reader right now. Since 12. I used to. I don't. The calculators. I used to be right there. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to be right there on the calculators because I used to see them on television. Oh, they're making $4.99. I'd be like $4.99. I hit the plus sign. I'd be equal. Like, look. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And I did that. I did. I did exactly that. And I even gonna be audited. He said, you better do your taxes. You're gonna be audited. That's meaning, you know, the government gonna know you making all that money, right? But I lived. I made sure I did it. I did everything. So I was talking about this since like 9, 8. And then I went on and all my peers I read for, I met them as adults, and they're like, everything you said. I'm like, you remember that? You remember that conversation? Because you're thinking, oh shoot, they ain't gonna remember this. You'd be surprised. Like we probably wouldn't say half the things we would have said now that like if we know that people will do remember what we said. We're talking about I would have I've talked because I wanted to practice. I would have been reading them tarot cards for over an hour, like hour and plus. And they remember every single key detail of that reading. And when they meet me on the spot and say, everything you said came true, it was a gift because these are peers. We lived together. We did things together, crazy things together. And they didn't bring up those things. They didn't bring up, remember this or that. No, they brought up my reading when they saw me in person. Many of them, some of them contact me online through the, yep. So I sent out, because I kind of want to compete. There's a part of me that still wants to compete in my market. So I sent out messages to um, other American psychic companies, and I was like, like I updated, my I guess my resume, my bio, like, yeah, I've been reading for such a long time, like reading people. I said, look, my peers, I never thought of to do this, but I said I wrote in there like something to the effect of my peers found me as adults. And then I incorporated validates that I am on the right path. I took all that back. It's like, give my power back. You didn't make me. So, but if you want to market me today, I'd be more, I'd be very grateful if you should market me. So, like, you didn't start with you, buddy. It did not start with you. Now, paying taxes as a psychic started with you, yes, but like, being a psychic that I am today did not start with you. No, I can't give you that credit. I had real mentors, real mentors. Mrs. Fogelson, her husband worked for Oklahoma University as a professor. So we're not talking about small little people, like people, like little people. We're talking about big people, brains, older, mature, who are, like they're president of a nonprofit organization called Opera, organization, psychic, uh, uh, educational research association. So all of that, and whew, all of that. I remember going into their big house because they had a big house, and I remember going to sit at their kitchen table and licking envelopes, thousands, thousands, because it was and here are all the stamps. So get that. You got the trifold. You got a trifold. Here's the trifold letters. You get the letters. You have to trifold the letters. Trifold the letters. Put it in the envelope. And then put the stamp on there. Next. And we wanted to be done by 12 so we could go eat. And we love to eat. We would go to a Chinese restaurant. That was their favorite. By the way, it was my teachers, my high school teachers, and my high school teachers. Get it? Get it? My high school teachers' favorite place to go eat. I couldn't go with nothing because I would be out, after having done. So I lived like it was like I lived in like three dimensional worlds. One world was I was getting paid as an entertainer, actor, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah, like high school stuff. But I would do it for communities and churches, and then they would pay you. And I had gone to school, what they call it, it's vocational school of art, and then you do that. And then the other section was I was a psychic, and then I was a student, right, and all that jazz. And then so here I would be okay in this world, in this dimension, at this table. I'm eating with a teacher, yes, but I just gave in psychic readings and made money. And then, and then if I turn my head in another dimension, so if I turn for equilibrium purposes, this is where I would see another teacher eating with her husband and her family. And I'm like, ah. I remember saying, I want to pay for their table. I remember saying that. I said, I want to pay for that table. I Yep. How much are you sure? I was sweating. I was like, oh my God, I was so embarrassed. Because I was trying to like do this, but everybody's like started like looking away, and I was handling my bills. Like I want to pay. What is it gonna cover? Yeah, okay. All right. Yep, sure did. And I know I don't remember her name, but it was with the English teacher, English and literature teacher. Yep, I sure did. Yep. And when we would travel, okay, in this dimension, I picked up because I had to learn responsibility. They didn't want to look at me as a professional psychic. So I got, so though had this going on, I had to get a job. So I would have money from there, right? And so I would go to travel places, or we would go on trips. I had money. I had money. So people came to me for money. I had the money. I had the money. Like, you need $5? I'll make $1,000. He's making $1,000. But it's like but it's like $5. We're at look where we're at. Or of course, okay. So this is a little bit more personal. Okay, so it was a small school, so a handful of black people, not enough black people to actually go on a like African American holiday. Like if it's I mean, literally we didn't have enough because okay, so back then you had to have X amount of like if you want to say African American students, if you wanted to like to take a for the school to recognize an African American holiday like Martin Luther King Jr. Day, right? Now, of course, they made it optional, kind of like do it. It was more like shh, just and so so okay, so I had two. Um, well, okay, so there's other ones, but particularly because of like the nature of our school of our activity, there was two young ladies, right, who I also met as one of them as an adult, and I was at a mall and I was doing something for the art stuff at a mall, kind of bit. I was doing a little gig there, and she was over there. She first of all, she was a when I saw her, she was all this, and me and her Taurus cousin right, we munch on things. We're all athlete, but but when I saw her, she filled out perfect. She filled out long dress. I was like, I know you. she she ran kind of like maneuvered into the because she was in the clothing section doing her thing. I couldn't go anywhere, so she circled back and just kind of like walked. And she was like, when she walked, she did just as she would do what she would have done. She like walked and she like looked at me like this. It just kept walking because she knew I was gonna flip out the moment I saw like when I saw I was like it was like slow motion would have been like I was so, and she was laughing and she ducked in the thing into the, yeah. Okay, so it was that. But yeah, when we would go out, we would go travel. I was like, don't worry about anything, but so that it wouldn't. Okay, so I didn't like that feeling of you got to take care of your own. So I was like, buddy, like any woman, right? Any young lady, any guy, in my friends, if they needed something, I was there for them. So yeah, but that wasn't about like it's not a story about yeah these two black girls. It's more like I would always make sure though that's like y'all don't have to pay any y'all like just get here. I don't know if I'm going on a trip. I ain't got no money. Like just come. Like money is that all? Is that all? That's why you're trying to get out of this trip. You only get to do this once. If you don't go on this trip, I ain't gonna be able to see you in that dress. You gonna be able to wear that. No, I'm not gonna be mean. You gonna wear that dress like 8 years later. Come on, you gonna feel out. You might wear that dress now. Let's get pictures. Let us see. Let us celebrate you while we can, while we're pure and, and we're innocent. And we're having a great time. They're like, that's so mean. This one, this thin one would say, that's so mean. You think we would grow up be fat? So it was things like that. So yeah, we would go there. We eat at nice places, and I'd be like covered, covered. I was already learning to tip. I was like learning how to do all this. So I was like, and then of course, like them, and then other, other ladies. It's like, look, I'm like, what do you like? They thinking that it's a click, like a color click going. I'm like, no. I'm like, what are you talking about? We're like on a road literally together. We're trying to out you surviving together. What do you need? $5. Here. And I'm not worried about you paying me back. I'm gonna go in right now at this age. It doesn't matter because that money is just coming out of nowhere, right? That's what happens when you're young. Money come out of nowhere. I was like, and plus, because I had this other job, I hadn't even. They were more concerned because they thought that I was what was money I was tapping into, and I was And I remember having my big bag and I forgot to take all my money out of it. And I unzipped it and all the money was in the bag. They were like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I forgot. I forgot the money was in here. So I had to get it all in. Eventually, if I continue the story, eventually my first bank account literally called Spirit Bank. Spirit Bank, literally. Spirit Bank. You know, I thought that was a sign because this is the first money that I'm putting into an account. And guess what kind of money it is? It's the psychic money. Of course, I already spent the money, the side of the other job for learning responsibility money. I spent that already. I put the psychic money, all of it, all of it into, and I out of all the years of high school, I never touched it. And I put it into Spirit Bank. And I was like, this must be a sign, like this is my path. This is like what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do for a living. Like what I'm gonna do for my life path. Other people, I had a friend who grew up. I saw him. He grew up to be a police officer. We knew he would. He got the dark hair, everything. And he was part of a team. We were part of a team. And yeah, and we were like, I'm gonna be a police officer. I'm gonna be a ranger. It's like, we know. We know. And that's exactly came in there in his ranger car, his ranger uniform. But what was even more sweet was that there were the two girls that are always hilarious. They're funny. I saw both of them are in the vehicle with him. I was just, I didn't have time to like laugh because all the memories started coming back. I mean, I saw, the big, the small, like the great and the renowned. Then they all started just kind of popping up, and they were just reminding me, like, you need to do this. This is what you do. And so, whenever I meet people, like adults, they'll say, like if somebody invites me to a party, you know what they won't do? They don't invite me to a party or red carpet events. They always ask, "Do you have your tarot cards?" And what now? When they ask that, I'm an adult. I'm in my. I was dressed by a. She was a beauty pageant contestant. 18. She got me together, and I went to the red carpet. But whenever I'm at these when I would go, and they would say, you have your tarot cards? And I'd have them like I had them tucked away in my pocket. When I was young in this age, I would wear dress shirts and I would have the pocket and I would have my tarot cards in the pocket right here, right here. So I grew up, and then I was in the dapper and in my coat pocket, right, right here, right here. No, there's stories. I have other of course, my story gets more complicated and it branches off and goes in these crazy winding roads. But pretty much that's how it's been. So I'm led to believe that more of my journey is becoming even more interesting now that I'm getting into this YouTube, TikTok a little bit more serious, I guess. I'm still nervous, but I believe it's the right path. I don't, you know what I'm most afraid of? Like, I don't want it. I know the world runs by money, but I don't want to be like, I'm too terrified to think, okay, I got to rely on clients online. I'm scared of that. I'm so scared of that. So I'm more like, I'm terrified of that actually. It's so intimidating because it feels like it's not like, okay, how do I control that? So mine is what I like out of it is that the idea of the ads. I'm like, I'm not ready to leave the phones. And I don't know if I ever will be, but I can definitely I know who to write my books to, who to dedicate my books to, And I know that like the ads themselves would be great. Like just the ads alone. I like the idea of the ads and the videos that are, that are viewed, and uh, teaching, if I would have known better type conversations, what I know today versus what I didn't know then, what I would have done differently as a psychic for young psychics, that kind of conversation about metaphysics, about psychic abilities, and all that. Those kind of videos, and also doing videos for the readings, and then the rest is just if it happens. If it just so happen I get a client or two, if it just so happen I get, like what they call it, somebody leaves an offering, to their spiritual guides, because they're here, they're in a spiritual zone, and they having a spiritual moment with me. That's nice. That's nice. But I'm thinking, like, in my mind, I'm like, I really want to see like how the ads work. I know people are like, don't make it about that, like ad, like it's like I don't know what it is about my personality. I want to try the space where people say, yeah, I don't want to be in that space. I think it's because I tend to do better in spaces where I get to play my own game, march to my own tune. Like you're like, look, we don't want that space. I'm like, can I have this space? So I'm like on the TikTok, they say they don't like the TikTok. Oh, fly! I'm gonna nail you. You just wait. Okay, so TikTok people talk about how they don't like I guess it's like the TikTok creators reward program, and it's where it requires like 10,000 followers. So I'm beginning to get like followers, and people are interacting with me, and they throw me roses and things like that, and I don't know what all that means, but I already let them know. Look, I don't consider this a job, and I don't consider this a hobby either. It's not a job, and it's not a hobby. It's just something. I'm here, and like I'm here with you, and I'm having a good time. So that's how I view it. Now, studying my tarot cards is like a hobby, but also a profession, and that's my job. So that's what I do. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I would like to have a chance at the creator reward program. I think I would like it. I think I would like just be like the ads, and then just do my readings, and then from time to time, come in and talk with you all, and then frankly, and then you know I'm really interested in my in public publishing, book publishing. So and doing that, and and adding it to the teaching, so I can have something to give to the members, you know. So that's what I'm focused on at the moment. I want to do that. Oh, absolutely. You said hello. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great start of their day. It's up early. There's one fly. I, it's a young one, so it's very difficult to catch, but I will catch one day. Usually it's when they tucker out. It's like, they're tuckered out, trying to get a nap. I was like, wait a minute. No, 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 no. I was minding my own business. So now it's payback. So I shake them up, and then they tucker out, and then finally I can lay them to rest. So, it's just one. It's just one. So, so there's that. I went out earlier. It was wee early hours, and the weather is so beautiful. Gosh, I love North Dakota's weather at this time of the year. It's the humidity. It's yeah. Oh, I love that humidity. This is also the climate I like to go swim in the lake. Like swimming in the lake, and yeah. It's like it's like it's warm. Like if you go out there, well, usually around this time, like five, if you, it's like the morning air, right? It gets a little cool, but up until then, it's like it's like the sun had been like as the sun had been all day and then heat up the world, and then it just had, God just, or the goddess just sort of just like just now turned off the stove or something. It feels like that. It's like humid. I love it. I think it's really great for my pores too. I always feel young and youthful, and it makes me. I love the way it makes me feel like when I breathe. I love to breathe in that energy. It feels so healthy, and plus it's kind of like out here in the nature a little bit. It's not out backwoods. It's just nature like, and it's great. It's like a great time to go running, and it may and oh, if you like long jogs or runs or cycling, like this would be the best climate to do that in. Oh yeah, great, fantastic for like exercise. If you're into exercise, you care. Yes, he says, "Hey, new here. Hi, Angelos Carter. How are you doing? I'm just filling in my hours. I'm logged into work, but for the past few days, I just kind of just been hanging out, and I've been looking at my meter. They calculated all my hours, and I'm like, it did it. It finally did it. It's finally working for me. The system is working for me. So yes, I was sort of, I've been celebrating, but now, I'm ready to. I'm kind of ready to go into the new height. I'm something happen exponentially, something major that like like I think I'd be more excited about looking at the blue line again, like when it's like halfway meter, or when I break or 15. I guess when I would break like 1500, 1500, 1500 watch hours. I'll probably now you kind of know where I'm at. No, it's worse than that. I'm nowhere near 1,000, so I've got a long way to go. Long way to go. I have thousands of views. But to be fair, I'll be honest. I only have 120 watch hours. I have 120 watch hours, which means before this all started, I had less than 100. Before this good news started happening, like, look, it's starting to do something. It's starting to count my watch hours. But to be fair, I only have okay, at the time I would have only had like 31, like 35 or 34 videos. And now I only have like 40, I have like 41 or 42 videos. So I don't have 100 videos. So let's talk about that. How much work that I'm not, well, I don't consider YouTube work. How much video time I'm not putting in. I'm not, I'm not what they call it, putting in that work. I'm not putting in that energy, to have that type of watch hour time anyway. But I do have, you know why? See, I wanted to be able to control, because it's all about the control. I wanted to be able to deliberately create watch hours. That's why I wanted to deliberately be able to, like, all I care about is watch hours, right? So I wanted to know how that worked. I finally know how it worked, which means I had to watch. So I would have to sometimes I would literally have to wait. I have to go live, and then not and then prepare myself to be disappointed because I know 400% they're not going to count any of these hours. But I need to see how this works. So I would stay on for hours, log out. I have to wait till all of the zero out, see what calculates and what numbers change. Write it down. Seriously, write it down. And then do it again and do it again and do it again and break down all what is more important. To be honest, I don't think the analytics is important in the beginning. But to see, I know how to say things correctly. I hate it when I growing up, I hated the way that teachers seemed to double talk. So like sometimes literally I'd be sitting in class and then teachers would say something, explain something, and it would be like double speak. I'm like, is or it's not. Or I hate it where the teachers, like somebody was talking and they're teaching, right? They put teaching something very, very objective. And then they start adding their own little twist to it. I lose the whole information. I'm like, don't do that. Only. And then at the end, now, okay, 15 left minutes, talk all you like, you know. Because I'm like, otherwise, make sure I have all the instructions so that I can just do it. I can go over the instructions again because I'm lost in your sauce. So I had to go through the whole process to see how it all works so that I can then do it. So make sure that I'm intentionally being successful. I don't want this, it's luck, a little bit of luck, and you just got to keep working at it, and then then when it's your, you got to know when to seize the moment. I don't want that. I don't want that. I can't even give that kind of an answer to a psychic reading. I can't say that in a psychic reading. So I'm very clear on, look, how do you definitively make the numbers go one way or the other? So I'm not the space, I can make my numbers stagnant, I can fail on purpose, and I can succeed on purpose. That's just the truth. The barrier is that yes, you are dealing with real viewers. Real viewers mean real people. How I mean the nature of the number game, it still should be it still should follow a mathematical logic. That's what I think. And so that's what I was looking at. And so what I discovered is that analytics, so the way that they say it though, like, I'm saying you don't need, like, it's useless observing analytics in the beginning. Now, the way that the other people who are teaching this, right? They want you to buy their stuff, right? Their courses, and let them teach you, and they have millions of all the numbers, right? They're going to say, no, don't give up. Just keep putting all this work out. Just do it. Just keep making content. Just keep putting video. Keep posting like every day. I'm like, okay, now how do you express that to someone in their 50s? Like, okay, you're in your 50s. How now tell me how I can achieve this goal. So my thing is this, and if yeah, I don't I want to tell this. I think it's sad because what if you do have somebody who's older, right, and they're like everybody else is making it look easy, or a young person, and they're like losing it because they can't get it right. It took me a long time to get it right, and then I finally got it one day, and it was like luck of the draw, the right place around the right time. No, I'm like, how, okay, when I ask how did you do it, like what numbers were you looking at that was significant for you? I think what it is you focus on the blue line. If that blue line doesn't move, those numbers don't really mean much. And I think that the blue line translates like instead. So when obviously when the blue line, so you say, well, you look at your analytics, you look at your blue line. What happens when that blue line fills up? Everybody has that blue line. When you go to that section, you're gonna see that the blue lines. When the blue, obviously there is a cut, like there's the subscriber keep going up, right? And the hours, like I think that's what you're supposed to look at more. That's more useful, is what's the numbers that are at the blue line. The blue line, and by the way, the blue line and the blue line in your Google AdSense, they're about the same color. They're about the same. They're about the same color. Ukraine's flag, the color blue. That right? It's the same color. So it's like analysts probably is nothing until it actually switches over and starts to talk about shows you all of the rest of the numbers that represent like they say, that calculates what you're making. The three digit, the acronyms, and the estimated, your estimated revenue, all that. Those are it doesn't really, in the beginning, because you can get analytic numbers, and it doesn't mean anything for where the blue line counts. That means these are what the blue line calculated. That means you can have thousands, hundreds, over 100 of analytical number, which that says, it says public watch out, and but here's the thing. This is the sad part. They'll send you, YouTube will send you a creator's monthly analysis of the numbers. And like, you're doing so well. It's all peach, right? Peaches and cream colors, right? And you go check. Oh yeah, I'm doing so. They say I'm doing great. I'm working. You go check, and the blue line hadn't moved. Blue line's not moved. Like, what's the point of sending me this report to this? Now we could say, well, maybe it's you got to get into the system, and they got to get used to you, the algorithm, But that sounds very pseudoscience. Who said that? Did YouTube say that? Did YouTube creator, insiders say that? They don't talk about that. They don't speak that language, by the way. So I figured, well, when the blue lines, okay, first of all, I was minding my own business, and I looked up, and I don't know what made this day any different than any other day, because I've seen the blue lines just show up. People, I thought, oh, there's somebody's watching. Great. It's not going to count though. But then, for some reason, I felt good, and I said, let me go live. So I went live, and then people showed up. I was like, let me get you a drink. I was like, I was like so surprised. I was like, what's going on here? Then it kept doing it. Like, people kept coming in. I'm like, wow. So now I've been going live, and people somehow make their way in, as you all have. Thank you so much for making your way in, visiting. Thank you for your time and listening to me talk. I know you all are here for actually to, hey, go flip over some cards or what, bruh? I know. I'm in the middle of reading, by the way. I'm online reading, but I just wanted to go live and just sort of just, I gotta get in this habit. If okay, I don't take this serious. Okay, I don't think of it as a job. I don't think of it as a hobby. But if I'm going to take it serious, I gotta get used to. That means I gotta get used to clocking in, so to speak. I mean, I've got to show up. If I tell a client, okay, we're gonna work together on this such a date and time, and you schedule that, and it's booked, you've paid. I can't be like, yeah, oh my gosh, like, what am I doing? What am I? Why? What is this? I can't be like that. I have to show up. So right. Otherwise, I'll get wrecked, and so I don't want to get wrecked. So I am getting in the motion of coming in, going live, and being a part of the community, the YouTube community. So typically, what I usually do, I like to I like going to other people's lives, and especially like lives where there's like controversial information, and then I'm like like talking, like interacting. I love that. I love doing that. Um, and I also love the idea that I can do that and not bring any of that to my channel. I don't go over there messing up people's, channel and their YouTube live experience. I'm happy. I'm happy that I can enjoy other people's lives, and then I don't come over here and I don't make a story out of other people's lives or themselves personally. So I love that about myself. So like some people say, I don't watch other people's lives because it leaves creative impressions on my person. And so I don't watch other people's information or content. I'm opposite. I watch your content, all of it. I consume it all. Like you're there for 4 hours, I'm there for 4 hours. You know, you're commenting on celebrities, you're commenting on what's going on in the world. I'm in there. But one thing it does not do, it does not come over here. It does, I enjoy over there as a participant, come over here and talk about something completely different. So I love that about my YouTube experience. So I'm so happy that I don't have that problem, that I can actually enjoy other people's content. And thus said, I have many people I follow. I probably follow one of you all. You know, if I see you on my For You, you know, where they introduce you, I'm probably gonna like check in, and then I'm probably gonna follow. And I have many different, like it's very diverse. And you say, well, what kind of people you follow? Very diverse, from all the way. I'll be like all nationality, all genre. I even have ASMR. I even have like I love the storm sounds. So then I crossed over to now like the winter storm sounds. I love my favorite out of the rain and the thunder is the winter snow Arctic storm sounds. Oh, I love those. I could turn that on and then I just work. It just keeps my mind just you know disrupted from being being so fixed on things. Yeah, oh, absolutely. It says keep it real. That's right. Yeah, I like. Yeah, keep like your wisdom. Thank you, and I like the idea that I can like uh, like learn and then share this information with other people who are like, what if one day I just decided to start a YouTube channel? Because I mean, when people were like, okay, so the young ones would call in to the psychic readings, right, and then would ask me about their YouTube channel, and I told them what they were going to need to do. I said, you know, you're going to need to show what you can do. If you could show that you could do your talent live, yeah, I was telling people that like you should do your work live. People will be amazed because they were saying, "Well, how can I grow my YouTube channel? I'm young, and I'm gonna go all in." I'm like, "You're ready to go all in, aren't you?" Right. Go do live because it does two things. It's going to get you the views, and you're going to advertise. You're going to publicize. You naturally publicize yourself. And they were like, "Yeah, okay." So now going live is a big thing. And it was such a big thing. I was like, shoot, I'm gonna go live. So I started going live. I started listening to my own advice. But when people were like calling me and saying, you know what, you should do YouTube. Because they were like, some people say, I would love to see you. Now they kind of got their wish, bittersweet. They now they're like, I remember you, I remember you. Or I can see you now. You know, you're like live stream. I remember you, you know, the industries. So yeah, so that's always that I'm so happy that when I Google me, I don't come up as like no scam reports or nothing. And the only time, okay, I found a group of people who were like, you know, they were like building up their troll against me. And because I went in and it was a forum, and Psychic Isaac, California Psychics, you know, and it was three posts, and they were only talking about me. I was like, oh boy. You know why I went and searched? Because I was starting to attract these different kinds of. They didn't feel like clients. They felt like other personalities. I was like, who are these people? And something that said, Google you, you. I said in my mind, and I said, okay. I put all kinds of, you know, the search words like Psychic Isaacs, scammer, California Psychics, my then PIN number, and then that forum came up, and they said the only thing that they never talk about the gift. They don't criticize the gift. They don't they don't criticize me, name calling, cuss words, none of that. They always say it's the way he says it, and it's the way he connects. So they have issue with the way that I connect and the way that I say things. So that was their beef. That they were like formulating their their troll agenda. So that's how I just that's how I discovered it. I kind of suspected that because it's kind of a dead giveaway when they keep asking you about the way that you connect. It's kind of a dead giveaway. Um, and trying to get a rise out of me, trying to get me to be less than how I was raised to be. Like I don't need to cuss a person out in my psychic reading. I don't need to be damaging. I don't need to hurt people, harm people using my gift, or helping people harm others using my gift or harm themselves. I don't need to call names, things like that. Um, Connection to me, I still, by the way, I still don't connect with people. I don't connect the way that they want connection. I don't believe in that. And it always felt dirty too when they say, it's like connect with me. No, read me. Like read me. Like I was like narcissist. I didn't like it. I was like, I don't even want it. I don't want. It's like it was almost to where I'm literally saying, even though we're on the phone, like I don't want to touch you. Like don't touch me. Like I'm fine. Like the way that I read, I give you the answers. Like in what way? And then I started realizing, no, they really mean it. I'm like, I'm not gonna make it because I can't connect with you like that. That's just the truth. Because that's not how I my answers. People are like, how do you read and why is your answers are always correct? Why are you always the best? Like people now, they have a little lingo. There's somebody from Dubai, Rich. He says, Rich, he says, how are you? He says, impersonated but never duplicated. That's what he said. What did he say? I wrote it down. I was like, what was that? Oh, imitated but never duplicated. And when he said that in mid reading, I went back in time. So remember that teacher I spoke about, and she said, "I wish we could duplicate you." She said that. At the time, I didn't understand. I was like, "But I am me. There's gonna be others." She said, "I wish we could duplicate you. Like I wish we could have more of you, more like you." I'm like, "But I'm me," and I've heard that many times. Like people trying to duplicate me in a way. And I'm like, I'm just me. I am me. And you are you. You don't have to, you could be you. That was the day she asked me to use the other dimensional gift, the artistic gift. And she said, I want you to use your art gift and I want you to read these. She had me read these books, like what they call like audio book reading. So I did audio book reading and on cassette for. Here's the thing. I didn't know that I was going to be sitting in the class where, and I was like, so I was there and I was like, the whole hour I'm listening to my voice on cassette. And I'm like looking, I'm like, it's like, I like looked up, I like, it's got to, like, I'm like sitting there for 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, it's only this. I'm looking around and people are like, they're really invested. They're like, I mean, men, women, I mean, girl, all the peers. I mean, they're like, let me following along. I'm like, I'm gonna do like spirit. Am I gonna do this one day someday? I would have never guessed that they had something called like audiobooks. I never guessed that they would have something like I didn't know. Okay, so at that time I wouldn't have known what internet was. So I wouldn't have known anything about an internet. So I would not have known. And I've heard people use the phrase, but I hadn't discovered it myself. I hadn't seen it. So that would have for me it would have been like something out of this world, like a future in the future. Um, so I would not have known that like I'd be on like streaming live. I was still thinking someday you'll be on television. You'll be on TV and not a flat screen. You'll be on the fat TV. The big box. That's the only ones I knew. Like and some people didn't have a TV. So by the way, not everybody even had a TV, or they had a little one. They had a little one that was black, it was like fuzzy black and white. No cable. Like we don't want cable. No, but by the end of it, like we don't want. Nobody like people were like I don't want cable anymore. So let alone they certainly weren't talking with me about like, yeah, I got to print, I got to go to the computer. What is the address? I'm like thinking, like a street address. We're getting ready to go somewhere. No, it's like address online. I'm like, okay, all right. So I kept going in life. Didn't know anything about that. So I would have not have known anything like this. I would have been thinking, oh, one day I'll just be TV, and people will somehow see what I'm doing, and it'll work out some way. Maybe I'll be a psychic, hopefully. Fingers crossed. That was my heart. So I was going on hope and faith and whatever magic that I believed in at the time. Young innocence, maybe a little bit of naivety, and highly energetic and willing. So the world opened up. College is like, it was like out of a movie. Like I remember the teacher said, we're going to a computer lab. Now I understood that computer lab, right? And we're gonna learn it. But this is the first time I heard the word internet. Um, and because I remember computer lab, we go to computer, but if it's like it was a whole, even beyond floppy disk. It was more like you just go here, you click here, you get in, you do this, you print that out. I thought that's the whole function, right? So she comes in there, she brings out the whole projector, and I'm like, and I'm in the front. I'm in the very front. And I'm watching all this unfold. And oh, by the way, and the room is dim. So it gave it that extra sci-fi feeling. And and that's when I discovered I was like, now the reason why I say this is because ever since I was very young and I said I'm gonna be a phone psychic, when I finally was, cause I couldn't contact a phone psychic, I called at 18 on the day of, and I called to inquire how I can be employed. And so I called, and because I had been practicing, I already had like years under my belt, even at age 18, professionally, reading in person, metaphysical. So I thought, they're spiritual, easy peasy. But my mentor would always say, it's not the same. Phone psychic readings is not the same as what we're doing here. Metaphysics, we're about community. I understand today what she meant is very money driven. So I contacted them or her, and she says, you're gonna need to get, what she call it, you're gonna need to get a certificate, like kind of like, if I could say, like what is this, like what is that, like where do I get one of those? She meant like like a symbol that represents that you are a psychic. I get it now. She meant like go to school, get degrees, get educated, find out, learn more. Then she said you're gonna have to also get print out some like forms to keep up with your taxes. Like, okay, is there a special form for that? Or are you gonna send me like a application, like a W-2? It's like, no, you'll be working for yourself. And and I was like, well, what does it look like? She's like, well, it has an eagle on it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, I was believing, and I was like, I'm paying by the minute. I know I had 5 minutes free, so I only had 5 minutes to get these very specific. It's like talking to the genie. You got to get these questions right, right? Because I cannot. Like, don't charge up my phone. Are you sure it's gonna be 5 minutes free? Yes. I was in that situation, and so at five, when it turned five, I was 5 minutes. I was like, okay, I had to give it up. But she didn't fail to say, go online and print out the application. I was like, online? What is an online? Computer. Okay, you have access to a computer, right? Yes, I can find one. I was like, my friends, my which I ended up having to do. I was like, my friends' parents knew all about that and Googled the site It was I don't remember the name of it. I think it was like Psychic Friends. It was Psychic Friends. It was www.psychicfriends.com. And they said, well, when you go there on the site, you'll see a little angel. Like when you move the mouse and the little arrow moves, it'll be an angel. And you just click on application. I was like, okay, I can do that. So months pass, and because I would forget, I remember. And then one day, I was like just talking, like, so what do you tend to do? Yeah, I need, there's one more thing I need to learn. I need to see like something about online application and this website where they're hiring psychics. They're hiring psychics, yeah. So I was like, okay, well, we had that, and they had like it was like a something like a dial up, and they had to like you wait and so anyway, we went through all that, found it. I was like, that's all I need to know. You need me to print out anything? It's like, oh no, I'm good, I'm good. I was so embarrassed because I was like, I didn't want it was. I thought I was like putting in the work or something. I was like, oh no, that's fine, that's fine. I just want, I know that it's real. That's all I need to know. Like I just because this time I had only just been hearing what people are telling me. Now I'm seeing something real, like tangible. There's a place. It's really on a place called the internet interface, and it has the angel on it and everything, and the application, and it's for psychics to hire psychics. So, so the story, so little by little, I kept learning and learning. So I had to learn a lot of this, not even knowing if it was now. Thanks to now, there's such thing as like a World Wide Web. I still want to call it that. YouTube, internet, however you want to. Now we know. Now we it's like your third eye has to be way better than the way it was described. Like your third eye, right? Your sixth senses be so extracurricular now. Now that we have the Google, because now we know like what's real. Like okay, this we can research and go find out if it's real or not. And so that's how I kind of was breaking into doing readings, like doing psychic readings. That was my way in. Like how I branched out into more adult readings. Well, I was already doing adult readings, but having handling my affairs as an adult psychic, I should say it that way. Taxes and things of that nature. It's crazy. Yeah. Because you are basically, it's like any other independent work. Yeah, it's just the all you're doing is just being an independent contractor. So yeah, so and then you just get the forms for the independent contractor. That's it. That's it. And they made it a little bit easier. By the way, actually, like okay, like filing right is crazy. So you go in there with your form, and you have to decide, like any other business, do you want to pay quarterly, in a year? How do you want to do it? But here's the thing. When when I would go and have other people do the taxes, I'm telling you, it would be so far up there. I'm not kidding. Like it would be well into file on your own, yourself. When they made it easier for you to do it for your own, like yourself, it's 4-digit range. 4-digit range. So like thousands of dollars. Like when they said, okay, so if you go in, I remember going in there and you'd speak to like a tax preparer, and they always go their go to is well you got to pay a quarter of what you make, a third. They would say something like a third, like a quarter, but they would say a quarter, and they give you these numbers, and literally, basically, they're saying, in other words, they would say 25%. So it's like 25%, a quarter. So I mean, I guess a quarter of your taxes, a quarter, and so The thing is that when you're an independent contractor, and then a little more, maybe a little more, but when you're an independent contractor, what I found, like if you, let's say if you did 50,000, you do 50,000. I know that's a small number, but if you do 50,000, they're gonna try to get you to do like 11 to 14,000 paying into tax. Now, when they upgraded where I could do my own tax, right? It went down like, okay, there's one time I paid 2,000. There's one time I paid like 5,000, but it was never like, it never succeeded 6 grand, and it never was definitely not 11 grand and plus 14 grand. It wasn't none of that. So that's, mm-mm. So if you're, I mean, if you are an independent contractor and you just like kind of like doing, I mean, if you kind of like numbers and doing things, it's really not that difficult. You can do it if you just, if you're patient and you just answer questions one at a time. You can do it and answer them truthfully. You can do it. You can prepare your own taxes, and tell you what, it's you know because the tax preparers I would go to, because I would go to I remember going to H&R Block, and they were going to be paid 2,000. I expected that $2,000 is going to them. The rest was for the taxes that they claimed that was. And plus, I also believe that they were looking at exactly what I was doing, because being that I was in the Bible Belt, and they made it very difficult for me to move around as a psychic. Like a psychic. And then now now they're dealing with like we're dealing with money now. Ooh, bad combination. So if you have a risky, and by the way, the credit card, I guess, sort of, in not the credit card companies themselves, but like the way, like the ability to transactions, to make transactions. They consider like these kind of industry, the psychic industry, high risk, as are other ones. They're not the only one, which I'm assuming that's going to be more like the adult entertainment section. But there's like gambling is one of them, is a high risk, so far as like being able to receive. So we had to work and figure that out as well. Now they made a way where now we can. Um, yeah, now it's easy, right? I mean, just about anybody can. I mean, you could be like a young one and receive credit card, debit card, etc. payments and checks and things like that. Now, yeah, now anybody can. But before, when I was like researching, you're high risk. You're high risk. I'm so sorry. So, maybe if you're credible and you're established, things like, so it was that kind of thing, to get around. And so that's how a lot of times I found out on why it was like out of necessity. And I was like, well, when they told me no, I was so shocked, because I'm like, you all contact me for all kinds of questions, like high risk questions, spiritual high risk questions, and you're gonna like not make it where I can't work. So I was like, so out of my inner stubbornness was like, figure it out, figure it out. We'll figure out a way that the person wants to pay for the reading. We're going to figure out a way to help them pay for the reading. They want to compensate for the reading. So figured out that way. And I was like, it's simple, okay? And then I realized sometimes you're paying for the aesthetic. A lot of times you're paying for aesthetics, by the way. It's not even the functionality, it's for the aesthetics. Why? Because the font looks nice. The script, it was very, very simple, basic button. Pay now, the cost, and here's your receipt, and thank you with the receipt. Then the show should be about me, far less about, you know, repping the excuse me, repping the aesthetic of the means in which Everybody is getting money, you know? So I had to figure that out. I had to figure that out. That's all that I had learned how to, I learned how to build websites. So I know about SEO, I know about that. I mean, now SEO this, SEO that. Now it's like get on YouTube. Billions of people come to YouTube, and the right people will find you out of the billions of people who search YouTube looking for you. So there's that. So like I'm not going to have a traditional website, but I had fun with it though. I did have fun with it. But I think that now that I have a now I think first of all, websites are important, especially like if you're Amazon, especially like if you're Walmart, especially like if you like actually the ones who manufacture and make tarot card decks, websites are important. If you make these custom made from from the wherever Netherlands, you need a website. You need a website, absolutely, right? So I agree with that part. But like what I do in terms of oh yeah, and if you're like Jay Z and Rihanna and or a Maroon or somebody, I would say you would need a website. But I mean like for myself, I think that demonstrating my abilities is more important. Now, of course, these my companies that I work with, they have website. I'm I am this. I am this. So I can see the why. That's the third channel, third party channel. But myself, I would say I don't. I have a website. I mean, I do need a website. I need my YouTube channel. I need my TikTok channel. So that is my website. So everything that you would get and do functionality wise on a website now is done on a YouTube channel because you would go to the website, discern whether or not if you want, you're going to read the content, you're going to read the verbiage, which I can you can do all that here on the YouTube description section. Links, you put on the website, you put links in your description, and links all over your all of your personal channel as well, little links, and then videos. It's probably best if you can. My problem was that I wanted to solve was if okay, pictures and such, great, verbiage, wonderful, but if people could actually see me work and work in real time, they would get more out of that, I believe, than just going to a website, which on a website, people can see me in person, interacting, interact with me directly in the chat. That's a full, whole, completely functionality that I utilize when I establish website. So SEO, SEO, excuse me, SEO, the search engine optimization here on YouTube, fabulous. Google, fabulous. They can find me. Sometimes it shows that where people are searching for very specific things in my subject, and then coming in. Some people finding me when I'm on live, so I feel more interactive as well. So that's what I discovered. But I do know how to do that. Yep, sure, certainly do, and how to create links and forward them. And so right now I'm working with clients, and they're like, 'cause I start talking about these things. They're like, okay, right? That's strange. Like, how do you know this? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like being careful if you have somebody else build your website, you have to trust that person because you have to give them the passcodes, and they can what they call it, hijack. They can hide. You got to be careful so that you don't get your stuff hijacked. That it's an address, which means it's like a real estate, etc. That means it can become where it's generating revenue and traffic and things like that. It can be very valuable asset to view it as an asset. I know, yeah, all of that. Yeah. So my clients is right now they found a manufacturer to for their product because they needed the boxes and the font to be perfect and things like that. They've got something going on like a festival they're going to attend. I'm excited about that. Can't wait to hear how that's went for them. And the other piece is that they are yeah, they got to get the website so that they can have a landing space. And they're going to get into, of course, I talked them into preparing to do videos and things of that nature. Yeah. So it's turning out to be wonderful. It was like, oh no, I'm going to smack you. Do not touch my staff. I earned that staff. This is the by the way, this is the what do I call you? I think you're oak, but it's twisted. It's an oak twisted rose quartz. I think I like to say rose amethyst staff, not quartz, amethyst, rose, twisted staff, oak. Hmm. I've had it for like, I mean, I've had it for a while, like maybe 2 years. I love this staff actually. I'll go and see. This is what it looks like. They didn't even want to. They didn't want to send it to me. I had to go to the post office. I was like, You're gonna give me my staff." Yeah, I had to go pick it up. They were like, "Here." They would bring it. I was like looking for it all this whole time. I was like, "Where is it at?" So, yeah, this is yeah, amethyst staff. It's got a little metal, like a brace on there. I love it. I love it. I love the artwork on this. Like it's twisted, you know, like me, like a serpent. So that's why I love it. And this is fitting. The amethyst is fitting. So yeah. So oh my gosh, it's just so much to this. So many things, so many twists and turns that I had to take in order to understand where how this was going to become something. Like I remember trying to figure out what to do. Like I had a lot of resources, right? And I was doing all this event stuff and travel. And I was saying, okay, so I was my I guess before universe graduated me out of that lifestyle, universe, I was saying, universe, I'm getting ready to do this. I'm getting ready to do this, and I need to know what else do I need to learn, and how do I need to approach it. And that was the part I didn't know. I was a little bit lost with that. I didn't know. I I didn't know what to do with the YouTube, with the channels, or even with just online. I just figured that it would just sort of come together, would happen, and I would start just the next career journey, and I would start doing all these like things, maybe like event wise, maybe venues. I didn't quite put two and two together. I hadn't quite put that together, and then universe said, actually there's going to be a big pandemic and you're going to be needed, and besides there's some truths you need to know. There's some things you need to know about the company you keep. And that happened instead. But the good thing, fast forward, the world opened up and I re-emerged into a much more I think this path is much more sacred, or this particular psychic path is much more sacred. Working with those from the UK, they are famous. They're famous, and they are psychics, and they're doing the thing that I intend to do. So someday, I'm on my way to doing it. I'm on my way. They 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 are famous. The famous psychics, like the ones that you would see on, like on television. things like that. Big, huge platforms. They're the stage psychics, right? Like with, like feel like filling up, the auditorium. That they're those kinds. Book published, So I'm one of their group. I'm part of their group that work with, and the clients always tell me, they say, yeah, they'll say the famous person's name. They'll say, yeah, their group is always good, meaning the group of psychics that work with the clients. Oh yeah, they're always good. They always have good psychics. So yeah, I trust you. Just do what you do. So yeah, I like it. I kind of like it, but yeah, I'm kind of sort of figuring figuring it out. I'm kind of figuring it out. So now what has happened is I'm like right here, and it's going to manifest. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna nail you. You just wait and see. As soon as it lands, I'm gonna get him. As soon as that fly, it's a fly, you all. I'm sorry. As soon as there's a fly that keeps bothering me. He's trying to share the stage with me, and I don't want anybody on stage with me. So yeah. So I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna all align perfectly with my YouTube channel. YouTube is gonna be my stage. It's like my stage, my studio, as is TikTok, and I'm gonna make it more sophisticated. But right now I'm just working on. Like I said, I only have 120 hours of watch time. Some of my videos are actually having ads played on them, and I'm like thrilled when I see it. I'm thrilled, and I'm like, wow, if I only have, because at the time I would have had less than 100 watch hours, like 60 something watch hours. I would have had only like 30, literally like 30 videos, 31 videos at the time. And in my mind, I'm like, if I have ads playing on the video now, wow, if I keep going, no, if I learn a little bit and I learn like what to do, not to do, wow, imagine what type of content I will be able to bring, what kind of quality information I can bring, how many people I can help. I might get clients. I even might get clients, but most importantly, the ads that play on the videos. So that's how I'm thinking. That's how I'm processing this. So that's how it works. So anyway, that's a little bit like where it all is, like where it all is landing, where it's all heading. That's the goal. And I know I've said many times, okay, so I used to say I want to do the venues and events because like I said, I found out everything I needed to find out backwards. So like I know how to, and it is very cost effective. You can really put out there a nice, wonderful venue for adults or for family, for a venue, right? An amazing venue. And then the premise or what the venue is about, it could, whether if it is a nonprofit venue or a charity event or just an event for launch, like it is absolutely in budget. It's in budget, and including when you factor in catering, drinks if you're going to have them, and the fact that their venues are so well connected in this, or they're footing in this that they can accommodate different like people who may not be able to partake in certain foods. Also they can uh, like alcohol, no alcohol, non-alcohol, etc. So they can also do that. I mean, so yeah, you can go really out there. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm getting ready to do that. I was at the height where I was like, I can do that. Like I can do that right now. That's how high I was, and not am. I was up there. I was. But universe is like, no, 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 no. Pandemic. Pandemic. So then I realized, well, maybe everybody doesn't want that. Maybe other people, what they want is just to be able to come in and they like a venue at their home. So I want to do like I can do online, sort of like online, what do you call it? Webinar. I could do like a webinar, and then people just have their own beverages and snacks and things, and maybe they're having a party. I don't know. You're like having a gathering, and people are just having readings with me online. I could do it that way, but then eventually, I know someday, I'll be able to do a live platform, be on a live platform. I know one day I'll be doing a live venue event. Someday I know I will. I guarantee that 100%, because that is my right setting. That's what I'm gonna feel very much at home. Because we used to do that a lot. We used to do the venues where people, like, you would watch the performance, right, like dinner theaters, and people would be eating, but people are there's a lot of actually YouTubers. I'm so proud of them. They're doing that now. Like, they when they do their shows live, they actually are in a sort of like a comedy sort of atmosphere, like bar atmosphere, or, if you like to think of it as like a dinner theater where you get drinks and you get food and you get to enjoy, the entertainment, and there's a performance going on, and you get to know the person who you're engaging. It would be me. So yeah, I know how to do that as well. I already have in mind, like, how I would do it, why I would do it, all that. So that's the direction in which I'm going. I'm working towards that. Um, now there is one thing that I did know. I wasn't completely in the dark, because I did know that I knew that I shouldn't try to do all these amazing things when it's really. I mean, I work for myself as an independent contractor, but I'm still at the disposal of a group of people. Like, if we cut contracts in the middle of me, putting together an event, I'd go forward with the event, but a lot is shot down. A lot is shot down from out of the sky. I knew that, and there was a wise psychic manager. He was a male, my first male manager. He said, with this industry, it's so fickle, and egos get in the way, and it will happen to you many times over, and I cannot prepare you enough for it. I'm trying to tell you everything I know now, because he was, in his 60s, and he would say, don't ever get anything on time. Like, don't go renting things and buying things on a time. Like, just buy it outright. That means excel, swing the bat, swing hard, and then get it all in one like, here. If you got it, you got it. You don't, you don't. Because the nature of the power structure and dynamic, you don't know what's going to happen. And those were the wisest word. Some of the wisest. He told me other things too about our industry, darker things. Because I was in there. I just met him, and I was meeting people on this side. Right, there's that side, and there's on this side. So I was approaching them, and so he said, why don't you just come out to California, and I just teach you everything that you're gonna need to know about the industry. And if since you want to be in this industry, you need to come out here, come to California. This is where we are. This is where we're at. He's right. That's where they are at. And I went out there, and he's like, look, these people aren't your friends. Number one. And we're not friends. You got work to do. Get to work. He's like, you got to write bios. He had me writing bios. He had me, like, of course, I had to also take care of my line. And then he's like, I had to, like, do kind of configurations, and uh, I learned how to do uh, what to call it, scripting, and I learned how to do some scripting as well, things like that. Yeah, and then, of course, at the evening side, he would say, look, they give me all the whisper stuff, the stuff. So, and I took that knowledge. I landed a big contract. He says, I know you, he'd always tell me, I know you can do it. You can do this. You can do this work. You can do it. You've got the natural ability. It's just, you're up against people who know how to do it well, very well. They may not be psychic like you, they may not be as talented as you are, but the fact that they know how to present themselves like they are, that's what you're up against. That's your competition. I was like, okay. And trust me, it's like the company intentionally made me lose to them every time. They outnumber me all the time. I always would do exceptional, but always exceptional, but no way. I cannot outdo a performer of a person who is performing as a psychic. Like only time I can outperform them. The fact that I could outperform them is that I had to come in and tell the real information. So I'd come in, I would say, look, I'm a real psychic. And here's the real information. So after the person performs, I come in and then do a real reading. So, and that's how I would always excel. And then when I went to, I scored a huge contract. And so that was the way that it happened. So I was a midst of people I'm competing with, and there was performers, but then people would contact me for a second opinion. They're like, whoa, 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 this one right here, come talk to this one. So then people would all come to me and talk to me, and they were like, I heard this, is this true? Somebody told me this, is this really the way it's going to work out? I became persons like their go-to, like their like people who would come in, and they would come and ask me to check work other psychics where I was at. So that's the way that it worked out. That's the way that it happened for me, the way that I grew and things of that nature. hmm So yeah, they can. That's just the truth. That's the truth. They can present themselves. It's just that they don't deliver. When it comes down to delivering, that I deliver, I will deliver. Yeah. So that is the way that it all works out. Hold on a second. One second. Let me correct. I don't read reversals, by the way. So that's why I'm setting them back up. I'm like, well, are you upside down? People come with reversals. When they come to readings, they're already telling you the reversals. They're like, look, this is upside down. How do I make it upright again? Or like when I read a person, I'm like, I'm reading your reversals right now. So I like to speak about relevant issues. So I always read the cards upright, all of them. That's the way we see the world, upright. I used to read reversals though. But I come to realize that I was picking up on reversals the moment I start talking to people. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, a person who's pretending to be psychic, that's what they do. They perform. They're supposed to outperform me, but whenever I come around and I say, actually, excuse me, this is actually what it represents. This is actually what's going on in their life. Then, yeah. So and that's also how I wasn't intentionally trying to compete, but it was that people were coming to me and asking me what I thought about other people's readings. And when they would do so, they would say, like, I'm kind of want to know, like, what do you see for my situation? And then they would just stay with me. And I started getting a lot of clients that were doing this. And yeah, I'll never forget it. And that's how I grew. That's how I blew up too. Like when I could do things, that's when I started excelling, and I did overpower. Eventually, I overpowered I became overpowered, overpowered villain. I make it, and I don't think no one likes an overpowered villain, underdog. I came underpowered. I came in as underprivileged, and I was maintained that, and I only my tier only raised once, and um, my I always had 5 stars. Always had 5 stars. But my oh, they wouldn't let me participate in little like the games. Like if you're on for this amount of time, you get into a raffle. They didn't let me do that. And they wouldn't allow me to utilize like being respected by like if I earn a badge, keep it like I would get a badge and then like within the hour it'd be gone. I would get like staff picks. I would get like a customer favorite, and it would just take it away like within the hour. I'm like, why did I do that? But then I was like, okay, just shake it off. And so I wouldn't rely on that. And then people just started like, we said we like you. We like so I started being in number one spot, and then yeah. Then it got really dark. It's like that's the thing. So this time, I'm in this space again where I'm in this light, and I'm not. But this is a light that It was not my energy. That's what. But like when I was forewarned by a psychic manager, not to like I always felt that don't do something major because of the nature of my work that I'm working with. I have to consider working that I'm working with a third party, and so I make all these considerations. And so this kind of goes with that is that um, this time I'm in the space where I'm not like blocked or somebody says, look, we just don't want to work with you. What we just like you're good. You're smart. Like you could figure this out yourself. You could do what I'm doing. It's easy. I don't have to. None of that. It's like I'm in this space where I was like forbade to be simply through, and it's by, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's by way of TikTok and YouTube. I know I'm in the psychic sphere. I'm having dreams that I'm in this space. Yeah, started having those dreams again because I had those dreams, and then the person out of nowhere. I had a part of that dream. I was in a limo. That's not surprising. I was in a limo, and the person, the CEO, the person I was working with, said, just looked at me. It was dark and said no, like as in. And then I kept the dream going because, by the way, I know how to as I'm waking, I know how to keep the conversation going in the dream. So it's like I'm waking up, right? But the conversation is still playing in my head, like it's an audio. And then I start to arouse, right? But I know how to consciously do that. And said, I don't want you to work with. I'm not gonna let you excel. I'm not gonna let you grow. And then the visual was the door was open and I was ushered out. I was like, and I woke up and I was like, oh, and I went straight to the lake. I went straight to the woods, where the trees are tall and sitting in the middle of them. And it was, and talking to a spirit. I was like, okay, what do you want me to do? Because we know what's coming. Yeah, I've got the message. And it was like, yeah, they're going to do this and that. And I was like, I already know they're prepared. So in fact, I was telling everybody around town, people were like, you just like fancy dress, wear all like, well, yeah, cars, all that. Or like, so I'm like, this is not real. I'm doing a test. Basically, I was telling people, I'll tell the bartender, everybody, I was like, look, they're gonna let me go this far, and then they're gonna cut me. I already know this, so don't think, don't think anything. Don't look at this and be like in admiration. This isn't nothing. It's a it's a mirage. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's not real. Let me tell you, they're gonna. I would tell my favorite place where I love to go, and it's like a place you go for like drinks, like latte, like a latte, and I would say that it's like I was like, you're doing really great today. I was like, yeah, they're getting ready to let me go, right? They're gonna do something weird. They're kind of messing with me. I could feel it, and sure, it was like, sure. I mean, it happened. It happened, and then one wintry Blizzard day, December 19th, 2019. I'll never forget it because I was hired on Christmas Day in the new job. I was hired on Christmas Day in the new job. On Christmas Day, as it's when I click start date, December 25th, 2019. And then the new year happened. Then 2 weeks, then during the 2 weeks, it was like, have you heard of COVID? Mm-hmm. Within 2 weeks, it's like universe was like, first of all, we needed you to see the real how this real world really works. I know they're sending you gifts and cards and doing this for you, but this is the truth. And you need to be over here because you got to be a light right now. We need you to be a light. So I was a light, helping people, and I needed the job. I worked my tail off too, by the way, and got many raises from it, many raises, bonuses and things like that. I was like, so I said, you know what? There's nothing wrong with my character. People just need to work with me. You work with me. There's nothing wrong with my character, because people they would never say you're just not a very good psychic. You're just not a psychic. It was always you connect. Why you connect like that? Like, how are you able to do that? It was always that, and it made me feel like they were asking me, actually, how do I perform psychic readings that help people? That's what I would be left with. Not like you connect with people funny, your personality you just make people feel odd and off and weird. And it was not like that. They were wanting me to, I think they wanted me to connect with people to get them talking, because I don't need to connect with people and get you telling me all the information that I'm supposed to tell you without you telling me a thing. That's what I call a connection, a psychic connection. When I connect with you and it's a psychic connection, I'm telling you. You're not telling me. If you're telling me, I'm inducing you for counseling. You get it? If you're telling me your information and I'm taking notes, I'm inducing you. That's called an induction. And I'm getting ready to counsel you for like 6 months. What I do is I connect with you, I give you information. So throughout the 6 months, we're talking about different things, because we're talking about the predictions I'm going to make. Counselors don't. If I'm inducting you for counseling sessions, I'm not making predictions. I'm like asking you questions, more questions that leave you with more questions to ask me. So I'm not doing that. So, no, what I'm doing is a psychic reading. So, yeah, so what I call the connection and what you all call the connection is two different things. So, it's two different things. It's not a connection for me, is not an emotional one. I think this, most people, okay, people who come into me for readings are supposed to have a connection with their partners. So, I'm going to help them have a connection with their loved ones, their partners, people who've crossed over, or with spirit, something, or with themselves, or with their goals in life. Not with me, but yeah, but they want me to create that. It felt icky to me. It feels nasty. So it feels nasty. So I the way I connect is that I just like, okay, if there's someone asks me a question, can I ask something? Then I can literally take, can I ask something? I would say, here, let me connect with you first. I connect. That's my connection. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not emotional for me. I just connected. Okay, this is, you got this going on. This, you don't have to tell me yes or no. I already know that they're telling me right here. And then you start saying, well, I haven't even asked. I've had people say, I haven't even asked you my question, and you're answering all of my questions, every single one of them. I come to you, I said, could you just start reading, please? And all the questions I was thinking to ask, you answered them. That's a connection to me. That's not the connection that they wanted me to have with you. They wanted you to tell me these things, but not for the reasons you think. that well, they just want you. They just want people dependent on you, emotionally, like emotionally vulnerable people dependent on you, who's going to spend a lot of money with their company to talk with you about their issues. Easy said, but that's not because you're okay. Because they record the calls when they as they record the calls, they have people. So when they email you and market you, they're gonna say, "Oh, your number is 111. Did you know that this is the best time to reconnect with your exes? Because they're gonna juice it up." When I could have said, "You know, your ex is terrible for you," for me to come to tell you, you've been over your ex for the longest. So why would you receive an email that's saying that you're gonna reconnect with this ex when you know this ex is an abuser? So, so that was what I was dealing with. So that's the only drawback. That's the downside about because they have I I get the sense that every one of them have like writers and every one of them wants to write or associate have some association with the entertainment industry, and these make for great stories or readings, and they become sort of story modules, if you will, for writers, trying to break into becoming screenwriters and things like that. And I concluded that as well on my way out. I was like, I don't like that at all. I don't like that vibration. I don't mind if a writer, right, who is in the realm of in the fictitious storylines of their mind. They're trying to put together a great story and they want to talk with me. I don't like when writers come in and they have a fictitious story and they are utilizing it as a psychic reading to build onto such stories. So it's like, why don't do you have any friends that you can brainstorm with? Like, go do that. I don't like that because they're like, we're talking about somebody who's not real situation. And it's like, oh, this person would do that. Oh, this person looks like this. And I'm like, no, I don't. In fact, this person, what you're talking about doesn't even exist in the realities. That's what I always say. Here, excuse me. Let me read you, and then I read them. I give you so much real information. You have to climb through the real information I'm giving you, rather than fictitious stories. Because sometimes, it also helps when people just don't get it. They're like in a space and they're like, I'm just not dealing with reality right now. Like I kind of really need somebody to tell me like what it is, like what is real right now. Like I'm very good with that. I'm good at that. Oh man. So yeah, I'm here. Well, welcome. Well, welcome. I'm so happy that everybody is here. Everybody is here. I'm here. I'm hanging out. Having a great time. I'm enjoying. I'm just talking. And, this has been a crazy month. August has been crazy. Like, I've, uh, I've actually, so my past two readings have been like 2 hour plus readings, 2 hours plus. I bet they thought that I couldn't even talk that long. I'm like, I have many skills. I have many skills that people will never know. They'll never know because those are skills I like to pull out of a magic black bag. I have a personal magic black bag, and when I need to pull out a skill, it's like surprise. You didn't know? I didn't know you could do that. Yes, yes, I can do. I know how. So yeah, my readings can last 2 minutes, a minute. My reading could be, I have a question. That's it, and then I'll contact you later. I can answer that question as much as if when I need to spend time with people for a few hours, 4 hours, 3 hours. I'm okay, not a problem. Mm-hmm. Like a full on, we're having full on conversations. I could be your grandchild. I could be your best friend of a best friend. You know, like we know each other. Like we speak, like first time speaking, and you speak to me for hours, and we're having a full blown conversation about your life, like as though like I know. It's not like me saying, mm, "I hear you. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a yeah. I had to get rid of mine." No, I mean a full on intellectual, emotional, compassionate conversation. Like, I know you, you know me psychically, I would say, psychically. That's the way that I read. I know how to read that way if given the opportunity. If I'm given the opportunity, I can read that way. Not a problem. So, shyness isn't me. Like, I'm not shy. hmm Like, don't say it. Do not say it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not shy. I am not shy. Okay, I'll go ahead and say it. You know that word that people keep using, demure, that trend now? All it means is shy. I'm like, interesting. Let them run with it. But all it means is shy. Are you shy? No, I'm not. I'm not. Let me look it up because I did look it up. And that's what I, it says reserved, modest, and shy, typically used for a woman. So it's usually a word for, like, it's a lady, it's a feminine language for a woman to describe a woman. Okay, I would say, yeah, to describe a demure young lady. So that sounds like an adjective. Okay, a reserved, modest, shy. Okay, they're speaking to modesty and reserved, or modest, or would be conservative. Okay, I just use the word shy. I'm not shy, but typically, like, forewarning, typically used by the women. Okay, for a woman, of a woman. But I am, but see, it's reserved, modest, and shy. Not reserved, modest, or shy, but it's reserved, modest, and shy. And I would say I am conservative, though. I am conservative. I am modest in a lot of ways, and I am reserved. Um, but I am not shy. I'm not shy. Like when it's time to do a psychic reading, I do a psychic reading. I do the reading. I can do the reading in front of, I don't care how many people are there to hear it. I can do the reading for a new person. I can do a reading for several people in a row, and they have me start the reading in different ways. Like one person might say, just tell me what you get. A person might say, I have a specific question. A person might say, I want to connect with a loved one. I can do all of that all in a row. And it's not a problem for me. I can do that. So I wouldn't say I'm shy. What I do, what the fly is bothering me. So what I do doesn't allow me to be shy. I mean, if you say, well, you're behind the phone, you know you'll never see that person. That person, hold on. Mm, that person can always contact me back. That person can say, hello? What do you mean I was wrong? My prediction didn't come true? Whoa, what happened? It just didn't come true. He said no. Oh boy. So that's why I don't tell people what they want to hear. I don't care if the person, I don't not care if that, no offense, no offense, right? No offense, man or woman, no offense, right? I don't care if the person said, but I love them, I want them, you know. This psychic gave me a bad reading, told me that we would never get back together. I gave that person, I was so mad, so heartbroken. I gave that person 3 stars. I just, I don't hate on psychics, but why do you all get different information? Some psychics say he's coming back. Some psychics say he's not. So, based on what I've told you and everything you know now, and that you can feel about me now, and if you're not connected, don't read me because you don't have to lie to me. But tell me the truth. But I want him to come back. I do. Is like, what do you see for me and Jed and this crazy fly? This fly's future is death. I'm going to predict your future is death. Trust me. So mark my word. So so yeah. So even if they do say all that, if I'm telling you, if I get hold on, if I get this card, if it looks like mm, if it looks like this first, this, and this, I'm like, I'm so sorry, but no, whoever the psychic said that he's not coming back, they're the psychics you want to listen to. They're the right ones. I'd rather say that than the person come back and say, what do you mean? What are you talking about? I'd rather the person say, what do you mean? What are you talking about? That can't be right. We just talked like a month ago. I'd rather say that than a person call back and say, hey, you told this person they were coming back. Like what happened? Like why did it go wrong? Like what went wrong? I'd rather get the bad end of the stick and the person to say, well, at least what I said was right. I'd rather that than the you know than the other one, than the lower one. Yeah, that's my way of going high. Like, just look, you asked for a psychic reading. I'm going to give you the psychic reading because, yeah, there's no time to be shy. I'm so shy. Here I am trying to be like, I'm trying to be all modest and trying to be uh, the other one, conservative, and trying to preserve integrity. And I know full on well that, look, this person is not trying to get back. It's not trying to come back to you. So why on earth would I say that? Like, what? Oh yeah, I can see it. It work out, and it doesn't. They call back and ask you why, and it doesn't save you. Like, if it's for, well, I don't want a bad rating. They can still give you a bad rating. Even if you say, yeah, the person's coming back, and they come back, they still can give you a bad rating. Or they can say, hey, the person didn't come back, but you did get it right. I'm mad at you. I'm gonna give you a bad rating. You might as well tell the truth. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Nothing. Because the clients do whatever they want to do. They're adults. And if they want to bless you, they'll bless you. But if they don't want to bless you, they don't have to bless you. They bless you because they want to. It's because they want to. They can. I didn't say they couldn't. I said they can, but they do it because they want to, not because anything extra you do. So you might as well tell them the truth. Be kind in telling them, but be honest and be understood too. Make sure that are we clear? Out of all of the 7 other psychics you're talking to, put me with the one of the groups that says he's not coming back. I don't think he's coming back, or she doesn't want to talk to you anymore. And I mean, as much as the urge to say, and you need to let her have her peace of mind, you know, yeah, and you maybe need to consider that she's just want to see you move on and you to be in a better space. And maybe you meet someone who is wonderful, for you. I don't want to meet anyone else. They both will say that's okay. Day at a time for healing. No one heals the same day. It takes time. You got to work through this. You got to work through these emotions for now. So what more do you want to know? What do you want to know now? Now that you know all of this. Yeah. So, yeah, you can say you could deliver a bad message, or you would consider, I think it's constructive, positive, like beneficial, not positive, constructive and beneficial messages. The information you know now, what do you intend to do with the information today? What do you intend to do? Okay, great. As a spiritualist and a psychic, my job is to help you to elevate and transcend, prepare you for all the incoming benefits that you don't want to miss these blessings that's coming to you in all their forms, prosperity or love, companionship, partnership. So for now, just work on just working through your energies, working through your emotions, working on your healing for now. Just work on that. So that's the way that I speak. And then, but I always put the clause in there. But I did make a prediction. I gave you some little bit of my counseling mojo, but be rest assured, there's a prediction in there. So don't be like, but you said, like, no. I said, yes, prosperous, yes, partnership, prepare your mind. But I also said that you're moving in a completely different direction. So yes, you got to be understood. You deliver the reading, you've got to be understood. That's important. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to take a small break. And you know how I know a lot of us say that. I'm going to take a small break. You don't hear us another day because our energy goes goes down. So, but I'm going to try my best to, I'm going to try my best to catch that fly. And then I'm gonna try to get my energy up again and come back on and do another live. And yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh no, I'm not gonna splat you on my. See, it's taunting me. It's on my card. If I could just, I don't want to. I don't want you on my card. I had to give up on that. See, oh man. Oh, ooh. All right. I see out a little bit.